On a normal Saturday, a group of young people from different countries gather on the square of the World Trade Plaza in order to practice something that may look strange to passersby. Perhaps you can't even call it practice because there is no kind of training equipment, and one of the trainees told us that they were having training classes, and what they were training for is a well-known sport called parkour. Parkour is a training discipline focused on overcoming obstacles. It involves moving from point A to point B in the fastest and most efficient way possible. It combines a variety of movements like running, climbing, swinging, vaulting, leaping, and rolling. Compared with other sports, the most interesting part of parkour is it uses no equipment and it's non-competitive. The Parkour Commune is a famous parkour team in Beijing. The training classes are held every weekend and usually 30 or more people will gather in the square. Anyone that loves parkour can be a member of the team, no matter if you are Chinese or a foreigner, old or young, man or woman.
After I saw pictures of parkour posted on the newspaper, I thought it was really cool. After that, I became a huge fan of this sport. Now, I have been practicing parkour for about 3 years. In my opinion, it can help women to get better balance.
I'm 10 years old. A lot of my classmates come to play parkour on the weekends, which is very fun for us. I'm not sure if I can become a professional player, but I will keep doing parkour for at least 25 more years.
There were a few groups in the world doing parkour, but most of them are based in European countries like France. There are still not that many parkour groups, particularly professional groups, carrying out professional training in China, so almost all of the trainees here feel lucky to be part of the team.
We divide our trainees into two parts, the senior class and the junior class. Every class has a single training system made for different personal situations. Our training system is made by our head coach after years of research in combination with other kinds of sports training methods. It's a really scientific guide to practice, and it also keeps our trainees out of a high rate of injury.
While the trainees are hard practicing, their head coach, Gao Ke, is on the way to meet a manager of a famous French parkour team called West Parkour, which is going to take a tour around China.
I have a gift for you.
Yes, yes. Oh, thank you, thank you. Oh, 很好，很好，Parkour. Parkour.
Just 公社.
公社.
Gao doesn't speak French, and their manager Paugam doesn't speak Chinese. And unfortunately, they both have poor English, so they have to communicate in English, Chinese, and French all at the same time. This tour is a very important chance for Chinese parkour fans to talk to the world's highest level parkour masters face to face. The meeting went very smoothly, which we did not expect. They had many decisions to make about the dates, places, and things to practice during their tour through China. The efficiency of the meeting left a very good impression on Paugam. At first, Gao was just a normal parkour fan who was working in a software company. During that time, there was very little information on parkour, and people could only learn about the sport through the television or the internet. He had to imitate every single movement by cutting it into many different segments. There were an interesting number of parkour fans that were becoming injured from training in the wrong manner, which involves the so-called scientific method from European countries, which is actually not fit for Chinese. He started to write a training manual that was adapted specifically for Chinese people.
It was 2008 I met the fitness coach of Chinese national gymnastic team. I realized it's possible to combine the physical situation of Chinese people and the international training methods together. Make stamina training to be the first thing of practice. After 2 years of research, my book about Chinese parkour is finished.
The training method is not the only problem for Chinese parkour. It still needs a good way to find a fan base like other X Games in China.
Chinese parkour teams are distributed all over China, but most of them are small. The model of parkour development is single. Some aspects were not used, such as dance and other forms of arts and sports.
At that time, Gao didn't have a lot of time to write after work. Reading and writing activities made up the bulk of his spare time activities. He has already published some of his training books through the internet in order to help other parkour fans in China. Now we have a scientific training method for East Asian parkour trainees.